Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Brandon Crow watching from Hockey Canada. Writes in and he says, my wife and her two sisters all played NCAA Division I hockey. They attribute it to waiting around that chute as kids and using those prairie oysters as hockey puck. Shooting them for the dog. Here's
Bingo!
one. All the raw testicles that I collected one day, I put them in a margarine container. Remember the old Imperial margarine that had the purple crowns around it? I put them all in there, and I took them to a party, a bush party. You've been there, Moose. You weren't at that one, but you've been to them. And I was going to cook them. I was going to cook them and make people eat them and not tell them what they were till after. But it didn't matter because Philip Kenyon took one, popped it in his mouth, crunched it raw. And he was smiling, and the blood ran down.
And he knew what it was?
I will never forget. He knew what it was. Philip Kenyon.
That was Fear Factor before there was Fear Factor with Joe Rogan.
I know. Beer might have been involved. But the next time that we're driving to Montana, I'll show you exactly where it is, because a lot of stuff went down at that site. A lot of stuff. I'm not going to go any further, but just remind me later. I'll tell you about the bikers that were on their way back from Sturgis from the rally that stopped at our party.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. We welcome in Peter Loubardias, our good and long-time friend. Great times to be alive, Lou.
It's good. It's good.
He's good.
He's good. He's number one. Never mind. He's the best. You make for 25, you sell for 325. Is he good? Sorry.
Didn't take you long.
Well, you set me up. So when you put it on a tee, I'm going to hit it.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, good morning and welcome. The RP Show is on the air. Darren DuPont with you here. Rod is in Calgary, and we're just working out one final connection bug, and then we'll get him logged in and get him connected here on the show. Happy playoffs. Stanley Cup Playoffs get set tonight in the National Hockey League. We've got 4 games on the schedule tonight. 4 will kick off. The other 4 series will get underway tomorrow. The Jets don't play tonight. I believe they're on tomorrow. But the Oilers are up tonight against the LA Kings. So we've got the full playoff primer for you for the National Hockey League playoffs. And the night that it all gets underway, as I take a look at that National Hockey League schedule, yes, the Oilers home to the Kings. That's the late game tonight. But the early game, 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Eastern. The Islanders are in Carolina to take on the Hurricanes. The Bruins are home to the Panthers. That's at 7:30 Eastern. Then at 9:30 is the Wild and Stars. And how about this for those on the East Coast? 10 p.m. start, Oilers and Kings. That's an 8 o'clock local time start for the Oilers and the Kings, so a late game. There's some controversy about that when you have the best player in the world starting at 8 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. But I digress. The Oilers and Kings getting going tonight. And then tomorrow, obviously, both the Leafs and the Jets get going tomorrow. Peter Loubardias will be on the program coming up later on today. And Jamie Thomas from Winnipeg and the Jets to help tee up that series. The Jets tomorrow are in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights to open up their best-of-7 series. So that will be interesting. So Jets fans, stick around for that. And Clark, you're going to let me know when we get Rod connected, right? Well, yeah, it sounds like he's getting close. So let's get into the poll question for Key Auto Group. You should have that. I think it's up on, is it on the YouTube feed yet, Clark, for the games today? Yes. So what is the game of the day? I think it's going to be a runaway in the poll, but our poll question is for Key Auto Group. Which is your game you're most looking forward to tonight in round 1? It's the Islanders and Hurricanes? Is it the Panthers and Bruins? Wild and Stars? or is it the Kings and the Oilers? I bet you it'll be the Kings and Oilers in a landslide. But how about that Florida-Boston series? I know Florida gave Boston some trouble in the regular season. So I think we got Rod logged in. Let's pass the baton back to the boss and say hello from Calgary.
Hey, Darren. Great to see you. Great to see everybody. Great to be seen. Indeed, we are at Ace Airport Casino for the first day today. And we've got our tech crew here. And I'm just going to explain to everybody that we came in last night. We did a dry test run. We came in an hour ago, did another one. And about 2 minutes before we go to air, the system drops. So we got the crew running around. Hey, it's the first day jitters. It's here's the thing about live broadcast. You don't have a preseason. You don't have an on-deck circle. When you're on, you're on. So anyways, we have Peter Loubardias on his way here, and I have a feeling that we're going to get this all worked out by the time Lou gets here, scheduled to go on the air at 10:40 Mountain. And I apologize. I'm going to work on some things as we go here. But Lou's the guest. Jamie Thomas, Winnipeg Jets radio color commentator, going to be joining us from Las Vegas in hour 2. And Jordan has not hit the quick six show horn yet, has he? So, Jordan, can you please hit it? We'll go from there. Thank you. So I was following along, Darren, with what you said about today's poll question. We could get into all the weekend stuff, and trust me, it's in my quick six show topics here. But I'm not going to do it now. It's game ones. And Key Auto Group has the largest selection of quality new and pre-owned vehicles in the Parkland area. Cars, trucks, SUVs. Your journey begins at keyautogroup.ca. So we got that. The games tonight are the Islanders at Carolina, game 1, Florida at Boston. And they're staggered, right? 7 Eastern, 7:30, the early games, and the late games, Minnesota at Dallas and the LA Kings at the Edmonton Oilers. And so I'm going to go first. And mine is very clearly Boston, Florida. We didn't even know, Darren, when we got off the air on Friday, what the matchups were going to be in round 1. Well, we did by Saturday morning. And so these are where the series start tonight. Mine is Boston, Florida. I haven't read a lot of game notes. Let's be honest. We're coming out of the weekend where it was a difficult one. You were there. I was there. We laid our friend Derek to rest, Derek Myers, and then traveling back and forth, getting ready for this show. So I haven't read a lot of game notes. All the coverage, shocking, on the Canadian networks are what? Oilers, Jets, Leafs, and that's great. But not a lot of talk about the Florida Panthers, Boston Bruins. I'll go first and say I think the Bruins will take it in 5, but that's the game I'm following the most tonight. Do we have a sample size on YouTube, Clark, by the way, for what the viewers and audience are saying? Okay, Kings and Oilers, 61%.
Predictable.
The Edmonton Oilers. What are you voting for, Darren?
I'm voting for the Kings and Oilers. You know, I got to see them up close and personal in L.A. on their final meeting in Los Angeles. I've seen them throughout the regular season, last year in the playoffs. There's a lot of hate between these two teams now. It's building. And I think there's a chip on the shoulder of the L.A. Kings. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fantastic series. But I know the trouble, too. This is late. And it's going around on social media that you've got the best player in the world starting at 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast, 8 o'clock at night in his home rink. I mean, that's pretty tough. So those games will all be late at night.
Well, okay. I don't have a whole lot of time for that because and we go through this every year. We went through it last year when the Oilers were in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Wayne Gretzky was in.
Yeah. I see. So you let me know when we've got him back. I think he was going to get into Gretzky. He played at Edmonton and in LA, both on the west, in the western side of the continent. That is part of the problem, right? I mean, it is 8 o'clock in Edmonton. The game's at 7 o'clock, which is a perfect time for hockey Pacific out on the West Coast in LA. So those games will always be late at night. And the Oilers taking that season series, as I pull up the game notes, the Oilers are favored in that series. They're favored in game 1 by 1.5 goals. They're favored in the series. But a couple things I talked about, yes, Clark? Okay. Yeah, fire him back in whenever you got him. Just bring him up on the screen, and we'll pass it back off.
Hooray!
Now we got you back.
Hey. Nice work, Brad. Okay. We're 100%, and this is the way it's supposed to go. So thank you. We got Mary on the scene. We got Brett. Where were you, Darren? Sorry for interrupting. Let her rip.
No, you were just going to talk about, you don't have time really for the late conversation. Wayne Gretzky went through this. He played in both Edmonton and L.A. So he was playing late at night all the time, right? I assume?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Brad. Yeah, you know Brad. He says hi, by the way. Brad Kenley. He saves the day again. He's going to do a quick flyby here just so you can see that he is alive. There he goes. So it's a technical thing. Oh, woo-saw, Darren. I'm a lot happier. So
good.
Let's just through these series. That's the wonderful thing about life. And as I said, there's no preseason game. There's no exhibition game. There's no intra-squad. It's you're on, baby. And what can you do about it? So it's in my commentary today. You can read it at rodpeterson.com. Listen to it on Sask Radio. My picks are these. Carolina to beat the Islanders in 6. Boston to beat Florida in 5. My upset in round 1 is Minnesota taking Dallas in 7. And they open tonight in Dallas. And the LA Kings at Edmonton, I've got the Oilers winning in 6. Just in these series that begin tonight, what do you have?
Yeah, I've got the Hurricanes winning in 5. I think they're that good. I got Boston winning in 6. Dallas, I've got Dallas winning in 6 games and Edmonton winning in 5.
Wow. You think Edmonton is that good?
I think Edmonton's that good. I really do. I think this Edmonton team, of all the years, since going all the way back to 06 when they won the cup, or got to the cup, sorry, didn't win the cup, got to the cup final, losing to Carolina, this is the best Edmonton team I've seen. I think they've got a complete group now. I think, goaltending is caught up a little bit. And defensively, I think they're underrated defensively. I really do. And they just have the Kings number.
Well, they do historically. This is the 9th series between these two franchises all time. And the Oilers have won 6 of 8, including last year. So I have read a lot of the game notes. I just have not read all of the game notes. And I would I would like to be 100% prepared. But I want to thank our audience for being part of this. The Rod Squad always is. And we're live on Game Plus Television and streaming in WQEE. So from our crew, Carlos is checking in from Indianapolis, and he says, good thing this show's good with calling audibles. It's a team. It's the fastest pit crew in show business right here. The IKS guys, obviously here at the Ace Airport Casino. Ryan in Toronto says, I love the excitement of a live show. Oh, yeah. I'm glad somebody does. Troy in Toronto says, I'm going to take a nap and try to watch the Oilers-Kings game tonight. It's tough to stay up here in the Eastern time zone. Rich in Edmonton says, Rod should be up here where there's actually playoff action happening. Ooh, I'm getting a lot of that.
Spicy.
But listen, Ace Airport Casino are huge NHL fans. They're huge RP show fans. They're huge fans of everything. And by the way, Hotel Clique Calgary is hosting us as well. So let's give them some love and some props for having us here. And again, Peter Loubardias will be joining us a little later on. And here's the thing with all these Flames guys. They're tired of talking about the Flames. We did a Football Friday, Darren. You were part of it. Let me ask you this. It was Black Friday. Dallas Eakins got fired. Brian Burke got fired. And Hextall. Over the weekend, Peter Laviolette got fired. 2 St. Louis Blues assistants got fired. We believe somebody in Calgary is going to get fired. But are you surprised that it hasn't happened yet?
Yeah, a little bit. I am. I think they're really doing their due diligence with Brad Treliving first. I don't think this is a decision where we're going to choose who to fire and get rid of somebody. It's complicated because Daryl's got a contract and Brad doesn't have a contract. So they really got to decide what they're going to do. And if they're not going to renew Brad Treliving's contract, then I think they announce that and then wait for the new GM to make a decision on the head coach. And, if that's the case, usually those new GMs give the coach a year if he's got term on his deal, right? Usually they give him a year and then make the decision. So we'll see.
That's what happened in Anaheim with Dallas Eakins. I think it was you or somebody said, they're like, we're going to suck anyway, so let's just burn the vine. And at the end of the year, let Dallas Eakins go. That's the sense that I got. And listen, here's what's wonderful about daytime television. And I should say this. I was checking into the Hotel Clique Calgary Airport last night. They were all excited. Everybody's excited to have the RP show here. And they said, so you have a podcast? And I said, yeah, but we're on television. We're on national television. It's only 981 shows in. And I said to the gal behind the counter, I said, what's your cable? And she goes, it's TELUS. I said, we're channel 924, channel 924. So check it out tomorrow morning. We're going to be talking about the Stanley Cup Playoffs. And we can get into the Blue Jays and all that, but I don't really want to because it's opening night of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. And by the way, voted one of Canada's top burgers. It's a Clique thing. Check it out at Tonic Kitchen and Bar, open nightly till 1 a.m. Yes, baby. At Hotel Clique, Calgary Airport. Obviously, we're jumping around a little bit. We've got 3 minutes left in this segment, and I'll get deep into this with Lou next hour, too. But you've got Carolina, Colorado. I can't imagine that you have moved off that, and bravo to you, Moose. You went into the season saying a Colorado-Carolina Stanley Cup final. But let me say this. You think Carolina is so strong that they'll beat the Islanders in 5. This was the talk amongst the hockey people here in Calgary that I was chatting with. They said it would have been a real shame for the Islanders to miss the playoffs after they went out and got Bo Horvat and made a splash. Now, they made it. Is that just enough? I guess if you're just flicking and you're barely getting in, going against a 50-win, 100-point team, you probably aren't going to last too long against that team.
Yeah, that's my take. I mean, they did get Bo Horvat. They've got Matthew Barzal. They've got some goaltending. They've done some good things. And the group, you know, there is something to say about being in that playoff race. Like, this is something, you know, that the Panthers have in their back pocket, that the Jets have in their back pocket.
Yep.
You know, when you're fighting for your playoff lives, you're playing playoff hockey most nights. And then to come out on top and get into the dance, I think that's a little dangerous, right? Rather than a team who can put their feet up for the last bit of the regular season and knowing that they're getting to the playoffs. So, you know, the Islanders will be hungry. There's no doubt about that. Bo Horvat will be hungry. There's no question. So, yeah, they're a talented group, but I just think Carolina's that much better, and I think they're ready to go on a real run.
Here's the question for the audience to ponder in the break. And then we will, and there he is, ladies and gentlemen, Peter Loubardias. How about a hand for Peter?
How about
nice,
that?
Nice. Hey, look at that. The two guys standing right there. Kevin, Peter, Kevin. Yeah, Lou is in the building. What will be the round one upset? We know on quarterfinal Wednesday or Thursday at the World Juniors, there's always one upset. There's always one. There's always one. Is there not always one upset in round one of the Stanley Cup playoffs? I think there is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my mind right here. So mine will be the Minnesota Wild over the Dallas Stars in 7. I want you to think about yours. And a quick question. Troy in Toronto wants to know, Moose, will you be wearing some Leaf swag tomorrow?
That's why I wore the Jets today. They don't play till tomorrow.
Right.
But I'll wear the Leafs tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Back with more with the Moose. We'll look at some of the other sports topics, and then Peter Loubardias is in the house from the Calgary Flames broadcast crew. We're live from Ace Airport Casino in Calgary and Hotel Clique Airport Calgary on Game Plus, live streaming and WQEE in the Fringe Radio Network.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Indeed, Ace Casino Airport is now open, and a beautiful shot of the foothills here, wonderful Calgary, Alberta, where there is no Stanley Cup playoff hockey, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about it. And Peter Loubardias is in the house, and we'll be talking about all the other teams. I'm not going to grill Pete on any of that. Darren Moose Dupont is in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. Let's bring him in now. And by the way, Winnipeg Jets radio color man Jamie Thomas is coming up in hour 2. Just from the audience, Jason in Red Deer says, my pick for an upset is Florida beating the powerhouse Bruins in 6. Garrett Mathiasen says, hoping Oilers all day long, but I'm taking LA in my office bracket. Landry in Billings, Montana watches. He says, my upset would have to be the Rangers over the Devils in 6. And that's the thing. I can't wait to talk to Lou about that. Is that an upset, really? Like, I understand they finished higher in the standings, and that's why they have home ice advantage. But would that be a real upset, the Rangers over the Devils? I think the Devils, they're just so young. They got a great coach in Lindy Ruff, but I kind of get the sense that they'd be just happy to be here mode.
Yeah. You know, it's not an upset. I would almost say I would favor the Rangers. And to be honest, like, I'm looking at this now. The Devils are favored in game 1. I mean, they are at home, but it's just by, goal and a half. I wanted to say Seattle was my upset because I thought they're the biggest dark horse coming in. But they play Colorado, and I can't pick them to beat Colorado. I got Colorado going to the Stanley Cup final. So you know what? I'm going to say my biggest upset in round 1 will be the Jets over the Golden Knights. That would be my upset.
Okay, we got to come back. We have to come back to that, and I hope people don't get offended by this. Like this, Frankie Coronado is the best young analyst, I think, on TV right now. Former Canuck, right? I don't know who all he played for. He's good, and he has fun with it. But he goes, no offense to Winnipeg or Craig Button, but I've got Vegas to win this series, and Craig's got Winnipeg, and that's for the upset, and that's the fun part of this time of year. Naeem, thank you. Thanks for saying hi. Thanks for having us. You bet. One of the two brothers that own this splashy joint, Moose, that you got to say, hey, when you right when they're in the area. So there are, believe it or not, other sports going on. The Toronto Blue Jays, who played their first 10 games of the season on the road, are packing up again for trips to Houston and New York. The Jays at 10-6 open a 3-game series against the World Series champion Astros tonight, and then head to the Bronx. They return home next Monday to host the Seattle Mariners, the White Sox, followed by the Mariners. I have written here in all caps, Alex Manoah. Blue Jays come out of the weekend. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays in the series. They take the series off Tampa, who were statistically blazing off to being the best team in Major League Baseball history. For heaven's sakes, it was the best start, and almost the best start in MLB history. And Alek Manoah blows up on the mound on Sunday. Poor kid's got to answer for it, which he did. He faced the music. And listen, I'm not Johnny Baseball, obviously, but I'm tired of this, and I can see that our guy Mike Wilner is a little bit too. What's wrong with Manoah? Send Manoah to Buffalo. My thing is, I know enough to know he was a Cy Young finalist last year. And in the coaching world, with what I do mentally in my realm and in the coaches that I work with that are actually on the bench or in the dugout, we've seen you do it before, so we know you're capable of doing it. So what's not working right now? Is it mental? Is it physical? Are you not feeling right? What do we need to do for you to get you back to that Cy Young finalist form? He didn't really seem that worried. He just seemed annoyed by having to answer the questions after blowing up on the mound Sunday against Tampa Bay. So here's the thing. They're off to a tremendous start. Where they win 7 of 9, 8 of 10. And we come out of the weekend going, oh, Alex Manoah is not perfect. Yeah, I don't think you are either. That's my take on the Blue Jays. You?
That's a great life take, and it's a life lesson. You can look for reasons to be happy and positive, or you can look for reasons to be negative. You can look for the good, or you can look for the bad. And if you're up, winning all these games and you're still looking for the bad and the negative, and that's always going to be your mindset, you're not destined to win anything, right? And that's a difference between, looking for the negative and trying to address problems and fix issues. Like, it's a different thing. But I know Jays fans are concerned about Manoah because he's not playing like a Cy Young winner right now. He's not pitching like an ace in your rotation. But it's so early. If we're sitting here at the All-Star break and it's still bad, or even a month or two down the road, maybe we're concerned. Give him 6 to 8 starts before we start saying we got a problem here. I think it's far too early in the season to panic about this, and he's got to have time to work it out.
Moving on, I've just got other hockey written for point 3. The Saskatoon Blades have seen this movie before. The Blades dropped the first 2 games of their first-round series against the Regina Pats and came back to win in 7. They fell 5-2 to the visiting Red Deer Rebels on Sunday, now trail that Eastern Conference semifinal 0-2, having lost Friday night by a score of 3-1. Now they switch to Central Alberta for games 3 and 4. Are your Blades coming back in this one, Moose?
I hope so. I'd like to see that series go a little bit longer. What's concerning is, getting out to home ice advantage, losing the first 2 against the Pats at home, losing these 2 at home, and the way that they lost, both of them weren't really in the games. I mean, they were through the first, 20 or 30 minutes, but then 3 goals in the second period from the Rebels last night. A little concerned. So they got to go back and take 2 off the Rebels back in Red Deer. So it's a tall task. Again, you can't keep putting yourself in a hole.
No. I can't wait to talk to Lou about this. The Laval Rocket and Abbotsford Canucks will begin the American Hockey League Calder Cup playoffs with home games on Wednesday. The Canucks will host the Bakersfield Condors. The Rocket hosts the Utica Comets. Both are best of threes. The Toronto Marlies, Manitoba Moose, and Calgary Wranglers will start their playoff series on or around April 27th. The American Hockey League in this country isn't even a rumor. They're not on television for the most part. You don't hear it. You don't see any coverage, and it's so darn good hockey. I mean, I'll be following it, and obviously going to these Wranglers games. But is it just me? I feel like it's like on nobody's radar except for hockey people, and even maybe half of them.
I know. And you and I are hockey people, and, you know, is it really on our radar? One thing I will tell you is I think the folks in Calgary are doing a really good job, because maybe it's because we spent a lot of time there, and I did too through the last year, but I'm seeing a lot of Wrangler stuff, and maybe it's the Dustin Wolf thing, maybe it's Mitch Love and the connection I have there, but I'm seeing a lot of Calgary Wranglers info and the great season they've had, and I'll be following them in the playoffs.
Okay, so I got one for you. SJHL fans, get your tickets now for the SJHL raffle for your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side. Tickets are available now at sjhlraffle.ca and are on sale until April 23rd. Tickets are 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. All proceeds from the raffle support the SJHL and its member teams. That's sjhlraffle.ca. Don't wait. Get your tickets today. So, our guy Kevin says to me this morning, how long have you known Peter Loubardias? When did you meet Peter Loubardias? He just smiled. Lou just smiled. April 1988.
How about that?
Yep. I said that's when I first knew of Peter Loubardias, when I was a 15-year-old farm kid listening on a transistor radio with my dad and my brothers to Lou calling the run, the magical run of the Notre Dame Hounds on CFSL and CJSL, right, Lou? Yeah. I didn't fry all the brain cells, boys. April 1988. And the Wings and Bruins bit their dust. So they brought you in to do the play-by-play. That was Buddy Brazier, stick swinging. Greatest spring of his life. Yeah. Sorry, I'll wait till he comes on. But I had the SJHL raffle here. It's not very often that you could say, you and I remember meeting June 2015.
Yeah.
The important people in your life, you remember stuff like that. Kevin, July 2nd, 2022. How about that?
How about that?
Point four, Kevin Cooey scored a, what's your buddy's name that came in from Kindersley? And you guys were going to come with me out to Canmore that day, and then you bailed on me, which was fine. What was his name? It's like Herm, or what's his name?
Lauren.
Yeah, he was a young guy with an old guy's name. Lauren. I thought it was Herm. And that morning you were like, yeah, I don't think we're going to come out to Canmore. I'm like, okay. End up meeting Kevin the Medium that day. How about that?
Imagine how that works.
Kevin Cooey scored a highlight reel 3 points with his final rock on Sunday, and his Calgary crew defeated Yannick Schwaller of Switzerland 5-4 to claim his fifth Pinty's Grand Slam of curling title as a skip and the $40,000 prize that goes with it. Hoping to get our guy Ben Hebert down here to Ace Airport Casino over the next 3 weeks while we're here. Meat has promised to do that. We just don't have it locked down yet. By the way, Calgary, Canmore, Whistler, get exclusive rates, early access to offers, and insider tips. It's a Cleek thing. Inquire at Hotel Cleek, Calgary Airport, or at cleek.ca. Kawhi Leonard scored 38 points, including a pair of late three-pointers, and the LA Clippers beat the Phoenix Suns 115-110 in the opener of their NBA Western Conference Playoff Series on Sunday. Eric Gordon added 19 points and hit a late three that kept the Clippers ahead. In earlier games Sunday, the Lakers beat the Grizzlies 128-112, and the Miami Heat surprised the Bucks 130-117. Was it on your radar at all? Because it was on mine. NBA playoffs. Like, I'm not really into it with the Raptors out, but there was no Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday, so that's what I watched.
That's right. Not really on my radar, although the games are popping up on my social media feed, so I'm seeing the scores. and kind of loosely interested. I mean, the Warriors lost their opener. So following that, I'm kind of, this might be the last run for that kind of dynasty of the Golden State Warriors. They're talking about that they might break up after this season. So I'm kind of into it for a couple of different storylines like that.
It's the drama, the outside the game stuff. And point 6, I can't believe we wound this up on time. Captain Hillary Knight scored 3 goals, including 2 power play markers with just over 3 minutes left in the third period to break a 3-3 deadlock as the USA defeated defending champion 6-3 to claim the gold medal in the Women's World Hockey Championship in Brampton, Ontario. Everybody's upset on the body check call that led to the first penalty, and then Canada shot the puck out of play to create a 5-on-3. Correct me if I'm wrong. The rules are the same in Canada as they are in the USA. There's no body contact at that level, correct? The Canadian girl laid out the American girl. In the NHL or junior hockey, we're not having this discussion. But in women's hockey, you can't lay a hit like that. How could anybody be mad about that? Canada did this to themselves.
I know. It's very difficult because it's a fine line between body contact and body checking, and they allow some contact, and it's a very physical game, but they don't allow any body checking. And you got to draw the line somewhere. That was a body check. I get it. It's unfortunate because I think we're all disappointed because Canada had the 3-2 lead going into the third period, let it slip away, and that rivalry with the U.S. I think it's a tough one, and it should suck. I know Lou's going to hate seeing Canada lose. I hate seeing Canada lose, but that's going to make the next World Championship that much more entertaining because we'll be trying to get our place back on top.
Here we go. Was that what you were holding up, Lou? Breaking news, Brad Treliving. And our guy Zach in Calgary has just informed us as well. Flames announcing they have mutually parted ways with general manager Brad Treliving. And lucky us, Lou is here to help us break it down. I appreciate that. So thanks, Darren. Stick by your phone. But thanks for your patience in signing us on today.
You bet. Thank you.
We are live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Clique, Calgary Airport. We'll be right back on the Game Plus Television Network, streaming your favorite podcast platform. And we are Atlanta's NHL show on WQEE and the Fringe Radio Network.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
All right, back live at the beautiful Ace Casino Airport from now until July 6th. Jackpot jet to Vegas. Enter to win a trip for two on a private jet to Las Vegas. Ooh, for Super Bowl, Brad? Is that complete with weekend hotel stay and spending money? See guest services or gaming manager for more information. Well, what a day. We're so lucky to have Peter Loubardias here, a longtime Calgary Flames broadcaster from Rogers Sportsnet on a big day. This has happened since we've been on the day. Lou, good day. Thank you for coming down.
My pleasure. Yeah, it's a lot to sit beside you and then see that release. And obviously, I'm not surprised.
Brad Treliving out as general manager of the Flames.
Yeah, he is. And I'm going to start there if you don't mind.
Please do.
I'm not sure I have much more respect for anybody that I've ever been around in the game. He's a quality person. He's treated me with nothing but respect. He treats everybody around him with great respect. And there is no doubt in my mind that he will have new employment and new employment quickly. And Rod, I don't say this about many people in the hockey business after all my time, but I would personally work for Brad in about a minute.
Well, there you go.
That's what I think of him. I think he did a fine job, but here's the story. I did not see a situation where Brad and Daryl, who will remain obviously as the head coach, for people who don't know, Don Maloney, this got to be really hard for him. Him and Brad are as tight and as close can be. So as of today, Don Maloney, longtime GM in Arizona, terrific player, and another quality man. Have really enjoyed my time dealing with him as well. He's going to be the new president of hockey operations and the interim general manager.
Until what?
Until obviously probably him and Daryl get together and name a general manager. But I mean, that news isn't out yet. Just the first step is out. But that's the way it's going to go. And then Daryl will continue, I would think, to coach the hockey team.
This is all the way I've read it, and that's watching from the outside. You're on the inside.
But sometimes the outside is easier.
Yes.
Because you get told things sometimes that you don't on the inside. And then the other part is, and I have no trouble telling you this, here's the real deal. You can't always tell everybody everything that you know. Now, if you want to be employed, and I still like employment.
Yes.
So I think the general public, you see, that's the beauty of where you're sitting. You are allied to no one.
It's beautiful.
Yes. And I understand its beauty. And I'm understanding its beauty more often as someone who has lots to say and isn't afraid, but has to walk the line. So, Roddy, this was coming.
Yep.
I did not see a way with two people. And listen, Daryl has a brilliant hockey mind. But philosophically, because whether people want to hear this or not, I think people still matter. And we generally aren't going to have great success in any form of relationship without being tied together philosophically in how we kind of think things, how we approach people, how we deal with people. Those two guys, and again, I've known Daryl forever.
Yeah.
Nothing has really changed. And I've known Brad now for a long time. I don't know two more polar opposite people in terms of the people piece. That's not to say that they're both not incredibly fiery competitors and want to win and both very, very hard workers. But in the end, what does it always boil down to? It boils down to the guy who owns the team.
Right.
And no matter who you are in what business, in what company, Rod, who do you empower? And Murray Edwards, when he was quick to extend Daryl and pay him a lot of money for the next 2 years, I'm told in the neighborhood of $4.2 million, Murray, a good Saskatchewan guy who has done incredibly well in business, I'm not even sure Murray would know me in a police lineup.
You'd be surprised.
No, he does. There's no doubt. But
Exactly.
My point is, we have never even had one single conversation outside of a couple of handshakes. And I've been around the team for a long time, but I also know that he knows. And I have always felt in terms of how Murray has gone about his business, the kind of person I'm told that he is. And you know how you learn that? You learn that in a lot of ways by who people empower. Because Murray's not the kind of person, he doesn't want to be in the spotlight. And good for him. He doesn't have to be. So to me, it's about learning about someone through who they hire and who they empower.
Sure.
And I think he had a really tough decision to make. He offered both of those guys a deal, including Brad in the fall, is my understanding.
Yeah. Well, and I think that a lot of this, if I may, from what I know, we've 90 seconds here before we take a break, but Murray's a businessman first.
100%.
Yeah. And the way that he looks at things, and I've been talking about this with my Flames friends, is he didn't want to pay Daryl $9 million, let's say, to do nothing. Right? And
No.
Brad's contract was expiring. So while it was on a personal level probably tough to do this with Brad, from a business perspective, it was not.
No, because he made the choice.
That's how he looks at things.
Yes. He's basically saying, however you want it, like we can sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it today. Daryl is his guy, and he sees the value, and he paid for it. And when he, I understand, offered those guys in the fall close to the same, then you're saying who you believe in. Because in business, including Roddy, not so much for you, but in our business for a long time, you know how you show people what matters? You pay them or you give them opportunity. That's it. So he is entrusting Daryl because he believes, and he believes he's the guy to move this thing forward and do it his way.
So there you go. That's how we got here. Wonderful analysis, Lou. We'll look ahead when we come back, and then we'll look at these Stanley Cup Playoff series, which I'm sure you're dying to do. Right? Talk about somebody else besides your own team.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so we'll do that with the great Peter Loubardias when we return to the wonderful Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Fleet Calgary Airport right after this on Game Plus Television, YouTube, streaming, and WQEE and the Fringe Radio Network.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
The RP Show is live, day one, broadcasting from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Creek, Calgary Airport. And what a day. Peter Loubardias has joined us, longtime Calgary Flames radio analyst from Sportsnet Radio 960. And it's nice to see you, Lou. I know you, I feel like I see you every day because I listen to you every day, but it's been a while, so I appreciate you.
It's been a little while.
Yeah, doesn't feel like it because I listen to you all the time, but I appreciate you spending the time. And so the news is Brad Treliving is out as general manager of the Calgary Flames. Daryl Sutter, we believe, will remain as head coach, and Don Maloney taking over as president of hockey?
President of hockey.
An interim GM.
Yes, an interim GM. And I think the next GM of the team will, again, be somebody, and it should be somebody very aligned with Daryl. Because if you're going to put this thing together, that's what needs to happen, especially in the pay structure, how you've invested, the kind of players that you want. So will I be surprised if a Mike Futa is the next general manager of the Calgary Flames after their days together in Los Angeles?
Is he the guy on Sportsnet now?
Yes.
He's good. He's good on TV.
He's excellent on TV.
I don't know
He's
how
a
he
good
is.
man. I've known him a long time.
He seems like it.
Going back to his Ontario Hockey League days where I got to know him and anybody else in that league incredibly well over the years. That's really what it's about. You know, today people are going to be, well, it's not just about relationships, Rod. It's about how do you build trust. Trust is the number one thing. And that's why I said earlier in the show, in order to grow it, here's what happens in any company. If ownership, management, and then coaching staffs are not aligned, it makes it really hard. And in a lot of cases, as you well know through your experience, there can be missing links there.
Sure.
So you're Murray, you're John Bean. I love John. It's got to be a really hard day for him, who's the COO of Calgary Sports and Entertainment Corporation. I've known John I played elementary school basketball against John and went to the same high school.
What? He's from Saskatoon?
Evan Hardy Collegiate. Yes.
The Evan Hardy Souls?
The Evan Hardy Souls. So I've known John's literally.
How about that?
Yeah, and have nothing. Like when John walks in a room, some people think they're the smartest guy in the room. He actually probably is the smartest guy in the room. And I always sensed that he and Brad had a really, really good relationship. So it's a lot to navigate. But you know what I like all the way around the horn? We're never getting to better or more joyful places if we are not aligned in our own workplaces with people we go to work with every day. So it's hard, and I'm really heartbroken for Brad just because I like him a lot. But as I said off the top of this show today, do I see him and Daryl as people being aligned? Probably not.
No.
So both of them moving on are probably going to be way better off.
Usually that's the case, Lou.
Of course
and that's
it
the
is.
thing. And the thing is, I saw Brad in the press box at FLA Live Arena this winter, and we locked eyes, and I felt like saying something, but I didn't know how this was going to turn out. But my point on that is he can leave the Saddle Dome today with his head up.
Of course he can.
He did a great job. And I hope somebody explains to him this is just business. It's nothing that you did. So anyways, a couple questions. Ken Graham watching on streaming says the Flames might as well make Sutter the GM. Nobody's going to take that job and run all your moves or when your head coach makes the moves. Ted in Red Deer says, I'd be curious to know who Lou and Rod think is the best run organization in the NHL. Is Montreal even on the chart?
I think it's the Tampa Bay Light.
Yeah.
And there's lots of reasons as to why. And it's Jeff Vinnick who owns that team and what he has done. And then again, the people that he has put in place. One of the most underrated people in all of hockey is Al Murray.
Oh, yeah.
A good Regina person, assistant GM. He and that scouting staff have done an unbelievable job. And, you know, Steve Yzerman, then what Julien Brisebois has done, and John Cooper.
Oh.
See, John Cooper, Rod, I think is one of the brightest people in the sport. And his longevity, because people think sometimes it's easy to coach good teams. Forget it. In 2023, when the money is staggering, when the egos are staggering, it's the hardest job ever to manage. But the thing about John is that you can always tell John gets the most out of people because he knows how to do it.
3 straight Stanley Cup finals, looking for 4. Lou and I back in hour 2, and Jamie Thomas coming up live from Ace Casino Airport after this quick break.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
We welcome in Peter Loubardias, our good and long-time friend. Great times to be alive, Lou.
It's good. It's good.
He's good.
He's good. He's number one. Never mind. He's the best. You make for 25, you sell for 325. Easy good. Sorry.
Didn't take you long.
Well, it's you set me up. So when you put it on a tee, I'm going to hit it.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, when you got good people, you have a good time and you can smile. And let's jump right into it. You're seeing a brand new environs today. It's our very first day at the beautiful Ace Casino Airport, Calgary, and Hotel Clique, Calgary Airport. And what a day. Peter Loubardias joins us, longtime Calgary Flames radio analyst, NHL announcer. The man has done it all, and on a day where the breaking news is that Calgary Flames have announced they're parting ways with general manager Brad Treliving, Daryl Sutter remaining as head coach, and we're going to move on, look at tonight's Stanley Cup playoff games in a moment. But Don Maloney's been named president of hockey and interim GM. Can I just ask you this, because it's burning in my mind?
Yes.
How long is he going to be interim? Like, for the summer or for a couple of years or what?
I have no idea, but I would guess.
For a while.
Hard to say. Probably has something to do with, again, an investment.
Money?
Because that's usually what it boils down to. But I would not be surprised if there was a new general manager in place by the start of next season.
Okay, so it's an active search right now then.
That would be my guess.
Yep.
I do not have the... you saw where I was when the news all broke today. So
Sitting
it's not
20
like I've
feet
had a
from...
lot of time to search out all the details.
How long do we have you for? 20 minutes? 40 minutes? How good are we here?
What time is it?
We just cracked 11 Mountain.
Yeah, you can have me for whatever.
40 minutes, good?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. For the analysis of where the Flames have been and where they're going, rewind, go back, hour one. We're not going to cover it again off the top of hour two, other than for Pete to say this was coming and it's a pure business decision. Now, this is not a shock. Today's poll question for Key Auto Group is this. Which game won tonight is the game of the night in your mind? There are four. The New York Islanders at the Carolina Hurricanes, Florida Panthers at Boston Bruins, Minnesota Wild at Dallas Stars, or the LA Kings at Edmonton. Not a shock. Running away with it is the Oilers and Kings. It was like 61% of the vote. It's truck month at Key Chevrolet Buick GMC. Get 3.49% financing up to 72 months on the 2023 Silverado 1500. Conditions apply. Go to keychev.com for more details. Is there not, Lou, always an upset in round one? Is there not always?
Generally.
Yeah. So who do you think
Generally.
it might be?
Well, I guess it depends on what you view as an upset.
Lower seed beats the higher seed.
Well, if that's the case, then the Rangers over the Devils.
Yeah.
Because I don't really see it. Lower seed, higher seed, to me, teams arrive at, the Rangers were in the conference final last year. And I would make an argument that they're better now than they were then. I really like New Jersey. But again, I think they're probably a year away, some maturity, some more playoff experience from taking another. I'm a big believer in the STEP program. And the STEP program for me is you get to the playoffs, then you become an annual playoff participant, then you become elite. So there's a lot of teams that, St. Louis, when they won the Cup, everybody talks about the fact that on January 3rd, 2019, they were dead last. But, Rod, what did they do before? They were constantly an elite-type team knocking on the door that had a bad start to a season. We put way too much emphasis on teams that have good one-year runs. It's about the process, and generally you need to get into that mix. Look at Tampa. Tampa's the perfect example. All the conference finals, a perennial playoff, that's the measure of an elite team. And then when you go through that, at some point, you're not only going to knock the door down, you're going to kick it. And they kicked it. So I think the Rangers have a real chance there.
I got the Rangers to win it, and technically that's an upset, but I'm with you. It's not really. But I've got Minnesota beating Dallas in a 7-game series, but that's a slim smidge too.
I don't know about that one, but I
like Flower. I'm a sentimental guy to my guys.
Well, I mean, so am I, and I love Billy Guerin. Honestly,
right.
Got to know him when he was a player in Edmonton in the late 90s when I was there covering the team. I think Bill has been able to do things that other GMs can't always do. And that is, he's obviously empowered by Craig Leopold, the owner. And Rod, he has not been afraid to make big moves, i.e. Parise
players,
and Suter, even though because he knows what it takes. And he's seen it from all different sides. And he's a very good man, but he's very decisive. And he's not letting the public decide what he's going to do, which in 2023
is rare,
especially in this country. It's hard to get away from the noise because the noise is big and it's coming at you each and every day.
But you still think Dallas is going to win. That's a sense.
Listen,
I get.
Okay, here's the deal. I'm not sure I like a coach more in the NHL than Peter DeBoer. We have a long-standing relationship. Goes back to all the time I spent with him and Steve Spott in Kitchener. Peter's always done incredibly well in year ones with his team, including some very long runs. I like their balance. And I don't think people understand how good certain players are in Dallas, i.e. Rupe Hintz.
You don't see him that often.
Yeah, right. Some of us do.
Yeah.
Jason Robertson, what they've built on the back end. Yanni Hakanpää with Esa Lindell. You hear those names ever?
Never.
Well,
was that Heiskanen
Heiskanen
had the
is
most points.
As good a young defenseman as there is in the sport, not named Cale Makar and Adam Fox. And I still trust Heiskanen more than I trust Adam Fox.
I was shocked when I heard that Heiskanen had the most points by a Stars defenseman since, and in my mind, I'm thinking
Sergei Zubov?
That's what I'm thinking, or Sidor. I was thinking one of those two. Craig Hartsburg. I was talking to my brother the other day. I said, was he not a defensive stalwart? My brother goes, Hartsburg could do it all.
He's right.
That's what Lee said about it.
Well,
all these records are dropping. 3 Oilers, 60 assists for the first time since '86, which is amazing.
Because nobody checks anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Honestly,
that's a good point.
The biggest missing piece, and yet you need it to win, is every young player more skilled, especially on the back in a lot of ways than they ever have been. But when you can find people who can check elite level people, you're going to win. I'll give you an example. I think one of the reasons, Rod, that Tampa has not quite been the same this year. Now there's an attrition. You keep winning.
Sure.
You can't keep everybody. So at a certain point, that might catch up. And they might lose to Toronto. Because I don't think Toronto's ever been more poised to beat them. But the guy for me that Tampa's missed greatly this year is Ryan McDonough.
Is that right?
Oh, not even close. Because he never got enough credit. He made their top 4 elite. And to me, he's the guy they have not been able to replace.
Gotcha. Now, I don't want to skip ahead, but I'm dying to get your take on tomorrow's game 1 in the series of Winnipeg-Vegas, because maybe, Lou, you can settle the tie from your competing network. Frankie Coronado's got the Knights. Craig Button's got the Jets. It's fun to talk about this stuff. I got Vegas, but what do you see?
That's a really tough one for me to call because there's players on both sides that haven't done it yet for me. So Hellebuck should have the edge in goal. I probably give a small edge, Rod, to Vegas, and for one reason. And that is because I like their group on the back, 1 through 6 better. And that, to me, is never talked about enough. But I will trade a good top 4 and top 6 on defense for top 6 forwards at this time of year, any of the day of the week, i.e. my conversation about Ryan McDonough. But I don't trust Jack Eichel yet.
Well, he's never played a playoff game.
Well, and in other situations, he's never struck me as the guy that can put you over. However, if Mark Stone plays, now that changes the whole equation for me. And in Winnipeg, again, utmost respect for Rick Bowness because he went in there and you know what he did? He told the truth. And he told Blake Wheeler the truth. I'm not sure I see Winnipeg making a strong and long run until Scheifele and Wheeler are separated. And I felt that way for a long time, but we'll see.
I'm not, just to walk it back, I'm not sure Vegas trusts Jack Eichel yet. They haven't seen it in the playoff.
And can former Edmonton Oil Kings star
Laurent Brossoit,
can he get it done? But he won't be completely phased by a big game spotlight because there's nothing like this one. But, Rod, I've always been a big believer, and it usually proves true, that when you're good at it, even at other levels,
it transfers.
It certainly has for me.
Stuart Skinner, same thing. I think he'll be fine.
I think he'll be fine. But this is different. He might be a guy, if the Oilers stumble, it might be because he needs this for one more year before he's really, really ready for that spot.
Sure, but he's still the guy.
Oh, there's no question he's the guy.
Yeah.
But again, what are you ready for? Because this is different.
I'm so happy to have you here, by the way, and I mean that. And I've been wanting to throw this question out to everybody, and I haven't thrown it out to anybody yet. So I'll say to you, I heard this the other day. It's your bottom 6 forwards that win this time of year. And in my mind, I'm like, no, it's not. If your top 6 aren't going, ask the Leafs. You're done. Maybe you need all 12.
You need everybody. And you need
there you go.
And you need even more than 6 defensemen to make a long run. So depth does matter, but here's what matters more. Does everybody do their job in their role to the best of their ability? Forwards 1 through 12, defensemen 1 through maybe 7, 8, or 9. And do you get great goaltending? That's what matters.
Yeah.
Because the whole machine has to function at a very, very high level. So, yes, if you are a 20-minute player at forward, you better show me that you warrant and can win some of those matchups. Why people talk about the bottom 6, and for good reason, is because top lines have a tendency at this time of year to cancel one another out. So when you can get depth from lines 3, line 3 for me is always a big one. Because if you can win that one, but your top guys, if I have you out there on defense for 24, you better be really good. Or 20. Right. If you're up front for 18 to 22, you better carry it. So it really, to me, is, Rod, the more I study it, the more I look at it, and I look at the game very different today than I even did 10 years ago. Very different. Because for a long time, I looked at it really through play-by-play eyes.
Yeah.
And I've always been kind of a hybrid guy. I love the game. And it's not just about calling the games, it's about learning the game. That's what really matters to me.
Well, Ted in Red Deer says, lose depth of hockey knowledge. Pro and junior is second to none. Great show, boys. It is, and we all know that. But what you just said to me, because I've told you I listened to all the games, I'm listening to you, and I'm like, Peter really knows the game. And not everybody in our business does.
No.
And when he says that, John Lynch, Eric Tillman will tell you, Lynch knows history. He doesn't know the game. Tillman would say that. And I was with Lynch yesterday, and there's a role for that.
There's always a role.
There's a role for that. But in what you do, if you're going to be an analyst, you need to analyze.
Yeah.
So where did you learn? Like mine was when I was 12 years old and my dad was scouting for the PA Raiders, and I was with Terry Simpson and Rick Wilson, and they were using salt and pepper shakers in a McDonald's in Moose Jaw, showing me the X's and O's.
Right.
That's where I learned it.
You know where I've learned it, Rod? And I say this a lot. I've been going to hockey school since I was 18 years old in Saskatchewan. And I have picked up stuff from every single coach, every single GM. I have lots of people in the scouting world, because that's really, in many ways, if I could do whatever I wanted to do, I wouldn't be a broadcaster anymore. That might surprise you.
Not for a half a second does it surprise me.
But my ultimate dream in some ways has been to scout in some way, shape, or form, and potentially be an assistant general manager at the junior hockey level.
And you could do it.
And I have lots to learn.
We all do.
Lots.
Who's got it figured out that you know? Who's got it all figured out?
Well, I mean, it's different, right? But when you've been a media guy for 40 years almost now, it's hard for people to go, you can do that. But I love this game, and as a result of my position, going to hockey school for a long time, but it's really been the difference, Rod, because even in my preparation, it's different now. And it has to be.
I can see it.
Some people think I'm a better analyst than I was a play-by-play guy.
Well,
and they might be right.
I've only been listening to you since April of 1988. I've seen the change.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a moment to the beautiful Ace Casino Airport, where, by the way, UFC 288, May 6th, free viewing party for UFC 288 right here, May 6th, and all UFC pay-per-view events every month at the Ace Casino Airport Sports Bar on the 40-foot TV wall. Did you see this thing?
It's huge.
It's quite a place.
It's young.
It's quite a place. It's young. It's very young. It just was born in November.
That's right.
We'll be right back on Game Plus Television, streaming platforms, your favorite podcast platform, and on WQEE and the Fringe Radio Network.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Text 902-518-3033. 902 Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902 518 3033.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for 25, 3 for 60, or 10 for 100, but there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with The Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
We are live at that beautiful spot right there, Ace Casino Airport, now open. By the way, voted one of Canada's top burgers. It's a Cleek thing. Check it out at Tonic Kitchen and Bar, open until 1 a.m. nightly at Hotel Cleek, Calgary Airport. Breaking news today, Brad Treliving is out as general manager of the Calgary Flames. Daryl Sutter remains as coach. A sports update. The NBA playoffs continue tonight on two fronts. The Philadelphia 76ers host the Brooklyn Nets in Game 2 of their best-of-7 Eastern Conference Series. Meanwhile, out west, the Sacramento Kings look to go up 2-0 with a win over the visiting Golden State Warriors. And the Toronto Blue Jays begin a 3-game series in Houston tonight. The 10-6 Jays are coming off an 8-1 loss to the Tampa Bay Rays Sunday. This sports update is for Landmark Cinemas. Enter to win a movie night out at Landmark Cinemas for movie lovers only. All you have to do is text MOVIES to 902-518-3033 to be entered. Winners are picked every Friday to enjoy a movie night out this weekend, courtesy Landmark Cinemas and the RP Show. Peter Loubardias is with us here, and we should, I'm just checking I got to check the viewer comments, Lou, the audience. You do want to talk a little junior here?
Sure.
Your team's the Pats, not the Blades, right?
It's kind of a tie, Roddy. How would it not be?
It's your hometown versus your alumni.
Yeah.
You need one of these alumni jackets, by the way. I can get you hooked up with one.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's even this series, it's really, really hard for me when they play.
You worked with Red Deer for a while, too. Oh,
Yeah.
this last series, yeah.
Yeah. It's a hard one for me, but it's a good one for me because I wouldn't be sitting here without the Saskatoon Blades. I would not.
Why? Because you fell in love with the sport of hockey because of them?
Because I fell in love with hockey and sports, in part because of them. And, up until I became, I've told this story before. As a kid, I could not stand the Regina Pats. I loathe them.
Isn't it ironic?
Well, it's the most ironic thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah.
But that all changed, right? Because you work with a team. I worked with incredible people in Regina and then became their biggest fan and supporter in a lot of ways. But, I love both of them. And I don't feel really at this point, now that I've separated myself, I love both of them. And it's okay.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's
and
fine.
I have great passion for both.
So you were cheering, you were happy whoever would have won.
I was.
Yeah.
I was.
Which
because I
sounds
could
weird, but
see-
I get it.
Yeah. Now, if you've never been in that place, or you had the kind of length of relationship that you did in Regina,
Yeah.
even though you were the one-time voice of the Prince Albert Raiders, like I said,
Still love PA,
I'm
too.
very proud to be from Saskatoon and always will be. But my favorite working time, arguably in my whole career, came in Regina in some respects.
Did he call you Hammer, too?
Oh, who didn't he call Hammer?
Bill Hickey.
How's it going,
Hammer?
kids?
Bill Hickey.
Oh, I miss him.
Broke the mold.
I miss him.
By the way, Wayne in Victoria, BC says, it's great to sit back and listen to the hockey knowledge from Lou. Great interview as always, Rod. Thank you, Wayne. Lots of comments coming. James in Border, Manitoba says, Nick Ehlers is on the ice practicing with the Jets today. Good sign. They're going to need everybody rowing the boat.
I like that forward group.
That's a great forward group.
You know who's the big guy for me in that series?
Adam Lowry.
No, because I know what I'm going to get from Adam, and it's going to be really good.
Okay.
Pierre-Luc
Dubois. Because why?
Because he gives you size, physicality, and can score. Rick Bowness has moved Mark Scheifele to the wing as a result. So to me, when I look at an X factor, he's the one guy in their top six. What's he going to do? Because I don't know. But if he is at the top of his game, this is the time of year that should be made for him. So I think he's as key to Winnipeg as anybody. And in the matchups, that really matters too. Because Vegas has Eichel. They can play Chandler Stevenson, Adam Lowry. And the great thing about Adam is you can move him up and down. And so at this time of year, it becomes about matchups. Pierre-Luc Dubois has got to be great, in my opinion, in order for Winnipeg to win this series.
Is he a pending free agent?
Yes, I believe.
But
I'm never as good with that contract stuff as other people.
But is that not a factor?
It can be, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
another reason,
right.
too.
Can Pierre-Luc Dubois be a better player in that series than Jack Eichel?
We're going to find out.
If I was talking about the most important matchup, even though they're not going to see, it's way more about who checks those guys and the lines and all of it. But I want to see who's better in that series, Eichel or
Pierre-Luc
Dubois.
Barry Alt writes in. He says, Pete's the man. Love listening to him. Long-time groundskeeper at Curry Field and manager at Taylor Field.
Beauty.
Just a wonderful gentleman.
Oh, lovely, man.
They love the junior stories. And listen, I got to get your take, and I don't let you get out of here without talking about Carolina Islanders because I want your take. I think that's a fascinating series. Okay. But Ted in Red Deer says, hey, Rod and Lou, what's the toughest barn in the WHL to get a win? Kamloops, the Hat, PA? Let's remember some of those, the arena in Medicine Hat isn't even still being played
They're
in.
different.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like it used to be.
No.
Honestly, me right now, Keystone Center, Brandon.
Is the hardest one?
Yeah. We never won there. You call it the McCrimmon factor, the officials factor, whatever you want.
It was a tough one.
We're down 1-0 a minute into the game, always, maybe 2-0, and you don't come back. For me, with the teams I was with, and you mentioned PA, we lost Game 7 Eastern Final there.
PA was tough.
Yeah.
When PA was right, whether it was Junior A or, in that Memorial Cup time and even into the early 90s.
Couldn't beat him.
No thanks. That was the No Chance Motel.
That
85 team, remember, that was their third year in the league.
Wasn't supposed to happen.
Third. Zine, Hodgson.
Hazer.
Oh, Gertz. Nice.
A young Curtis Hunt.
Nice shutdown pairing. Manson and Baumgartner with Manny Viveros running the offensive show.
Ward Kamenowski locking it down in the crease.
Oh.
Steve Goddess.
Al Stewart scoring 100 shorthanded goals. Only 13 one season.
Don't get us going.
Sorry.
No, you have nothing. So do I.
I love it.
I wish more people did.
Yeah, so do I. It concerns me a lot. That's a show for a different.
Yeah. So, Kevin, you've met. No, I'm bringing you away. Just turn, yeah? From our show. He said, how long have you known Lou? And I said, well, I knew of him April 1988. But of course, it was the best spring of your life. It was the longest spring of your life. You went all the way to the Centennial Cup, calling the Notre Dame Hounds. Curtis Joseph, Kent Manderville, Scott Pellerin.
Rod Brindamore was the captain. Curtis Joseph was the goalie.
Unbelievable. Barry McKenzie, the coach?
Yeah, Dwayne Norris. Nothing but big goal after big goal. Lou Nakwana, Tim Green on defense. Stefan.
So great.
Govan. Rod, listen, I've been really lucky. Really lucky. That series between the Calgary Canucks and the Notre Dame Hounds in 1988 is still arguably the best hockey series I've ever been involved in. Ever. It had more twists and turns. It deserves its own series.
30 for 30.
It was unbelievable.
Any idea what Buddy Brazier's doing now?
No.
Besides swinging his stick at fans in the crowd in Wilcox?
Pretty good goalie. Different times. You know what?
Ooh, they throw you in jail now.
Listen. I will never forget the atmosphere in that building even 2 hours before Game 5. I'm not sure I've ever heard anything quite like it. Ever. Because those kids were wound beyond belief. I did the games.
The students.
Yes.
Yeah.
The students, they're all kids when you're my age.
No, I'm just saying.
Yes.
Student body of Notre Dame College. Yeah.
I did games in that playoff run with Kelly Lovering and just enjoyed the living daylights out of it. I couldn't hear him. I was an inch away from him. I could not
I remember the gear.
And they had the Canucks so wound tight, they didn't know whether to you-know-what or wind their watch. And then you get to Calgary, and then Martin Kenny had to have a press conference after what happened in Game 5. And the most unbelievable thing, and we don't have a lot of time, but think about this. 3-3, Notre Dame was down 3-1. So they came here and won Game 4, 4-3, Game 6. Dwayne Norris scores the winner. 5 seconds left in Game 7. Packed house at Max Bell. Jeff Batters, bless his soul, left us way too early. Was another excellent player on that Notre Dame defense. St. Louis Blues pick. Pushes the net off its mooring with 5 seconds left in Game 7. And Curtis Joseph stops Dean Larson on the penalty shot. And Notre Dame comes from behind 3-1 down to win that series in 7.
Cujo might tell you that was the best spring of his life.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He probably would.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Peanut Butter Pete Saragella has checked in.
Oh, nice.
And he says, enjoying Lou and Rod from Greece. Two of my faves. He's good.
Number one. Never
Don't worry about it. Never mind.
He's the best.
The Markcast watching in Seattle says, how about those playoff-bound Kraken? We'll get to that next segment because I said, well, maybe if we have time here, if you can wrap it up in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I got you.
What's up? What do you got, Clark? Okay, thank you. Carolina. You talk about a team, the step system.
Rod Brind'Amour.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I lined it all up, Lou. I'm not just a pretty face.
Yeah, true.
Is this the year?
I'm worried, and only for one reason. The loss of Svechnikov for a team that really is a marvelous team with a incredible head coach. But I'm worried about their ability to, with Svechnikov, I would say yes. Without him, it concerns me. And I'm still not completely sold on Freddie Anderson.
No, why would you be?
He's good
why would
until
anybody
Game
be?
7.
Yeah.
Game 7's haven't gone so well. Jacob Slavin, the most underrated player in hockey.
In 60 seconds, our guy Reed in Seattle wants to know yours and my take, I suppose, on Colorado, Seattle.
Hard for Seattle. But what an incredible year under Dave Hackstall. They're ahead of schedule. They have some great young players. To me, that's Colorado in 5. But again, it's really hard. And the thing that's benefited the Seattle Kraken, which people don't talk about enough, they've been playing with house money all year.
Nobody expects anything.
Right here in the casino, playing with house money. See that, Ty? This isn't just a pretty face either.
Perfect. I love it, Lou. You're the best, man. Appreciate it. On a very busy day, Brad Treliving is out as GM of the Flames. You got a busy day ahead of you, so thanks for coming down.
Anytime, pal.
Our first day at Ace Casino Airport, and we open it up with the legend, Pete Loubardias. Another legend joins us next from Sin City, Jamie Thomas, Winnipeg Jets radio colorman from CJOB 68. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show live on Game Plus TV, YouTube, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE, the Fringe Radio Network.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad. Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show. Official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody, live from Ace Casino Airport. Hey, Lobster Fest, the last Thursday of every month. We're just in time. Enjoy an amazing lobster festival every month at the Ace Casino Airport. Visit acecasinos.ca for more information. All right, we're continuing. It's the opening night of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Night one is tonight, and we're getting ready tomorrow for Jets at Vegas. Jamie Thomas is the radio color voice of the Winnipeg Jets on CJOB 68. He's joining us from Sin City, and I appreciate you. It looks like you're right in the fortress, JT. What's the update here on the eve of Game 1?
Well, most importantly, Rod, Nikolai Ehlers joined the Winnipeg Jets for the skate today in a blue jersey. He's took the line rushes with Blake Wheeler and Vladislav Nemesnikov, so it looks like he's a go. We haven't got official word because practice is yet to end here at T-Mobile Arena, but he was wearing the blue jersey, not the red non-contact jersey, so I would probably have to say 99% chance he's playing tomorrow night against Vegas.
So how big is that?
Huge. Listen, when the Jets came back after that 3-0 loss to the San Jose Sharks to close out their California road trip, there's a whole bunch of skepticism about the team. There are people panicking. So what Rick Bowness does is he puts Mark Scheifele on the wing with Pierre-Luc Dubois and Kyle Connor, and I'll touch on what Pete was saying a little while ago about the impact that Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to have on this series. So that puts Vladislav Nemesnikov in the middle with Blake Wheeler and Nikolai Ehlers. You move Nino Niederreiter down the third line with Adam Lowry and Mason Appleton. Those three players play exactly the same way, so that's been a highly effective line. And then Kevin Stanley, who's the biggest question mark heading into Game 2 tomorrow, was centering on the fourth line, of course, Sacramento line and Morgan Barron. So with Nikolai Ehlers in, Rod, he has been what we've seen from Nikolai Ehlers when he's fully healthy. I don't know if you've ever had hernia surgery. I have. It's not fun, especially not fun to recover when you're an athlete, right? So it took him a while to get back to top speed. Now he's back to top speed. And he was a big portion of the Jets fighting their way through that homestand. They won 4 or 5. They win that huge game in Minnesota to clinch a playoff spot. He was one of the catalysts behind that. So I'm not saying the Jets couldn't have won Game 1 without him, but your life is a whole lot better with that game-breaking speed that Ehlers has and the confidence and the shot that he has in the lineup. It's easy to say, okay, it's very hard to replace Nikolai Ehlers' speed and confidence and shot, and he's been a big part of the top power play, playing a lot better, a lot more offense. So, again, it would have been not the end of the world had he not played in Game 1, but your world is a whole lot better with number 27 in your lineup.
You had me at, have you ever had hernia surgery? I subscribe to the Mitchell Scruffy Blair philosophy that if you don't work out, you can't get hurt. So, no, I haven't had a hernia surgery, JT. Honestly, there's always a vibe. I know, it's great, right? It's great.
Yes, I love
There's a vibe in Vegas 365. And then on a Vegas game day, there's a bigger vibe. What's it like entering the Stanley Cup playoffs?
They're so excited here. And listen, I thought it was a great idea when they decided to come here anyways, because it just makes sense. It's just like you got here before the Raiders got here. So you establish yourself as an organization in the top place to go. And sporting-wise, in the city. It was very wise of how ownership made that decision because we all knew that eventually the Raiders were coming here. But the fact that you established yourself going to the Stanley Cup final in the first year of existence, that really set the role. And now, people that come to Vegas, that are hockey fans, it's just right down the road. Like, it's just a walk over from the strip. So a simple and easy thing to do. But, they're excited. They finished first in the Western Conference. There was a stretch there. You're like wondering what was going to go on with their goaltending situation. They had Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill before, the All-Star break, and they were playing well. Then all of a sudden injuries crept in. Then Laurent Brossoit, who is a former Winnipeg Jet, has moved himself into the starting position, at least for game one. They had to bring in Jonathan Quick at the trade deadline as well. But the storyline of Laurent Brossoit versus Connor Hellebuck looms large over top of this series, and not because they're not best friends. They have the same agent. They work out together in the off season. They have the same coaches in the off season. So it's not like they're not great buddies. But Connor Hellebuck joked, he says, "I'm going to send him a text that I'm coming for him." And I was speaking with Darren Millard yesterday, and he said that Laurent Brossoit was saying he hasn't responded to any texts as of yesterday when I spoke to Darren. So, there's a lot of gameship going on, but that is, one of the big storylines coming to this one. But Rod, let's make no mistake about it. Connor Hellebuck is the story for this series. And, Vegas has got a great back end. They've got talented forwards up front. They generate a lot. They don't give up a lot. But Connor Hellebuck has to be the goaltender that we saw the last 2 weeks where he started 13 consecutive games, won 5 of his last 6 starts. That game against the Minnesota Wild where he made not 1, not 2, but 3 paddle saves. Come on. He elevated his game to a level that we had to see. And he has consistently said he's won a Vezina Trophy. He has another goal, and that is the Stanley Cup, to win the Stanley Cup championship. And that is the focus for him right now, not who he's going up against, what happened in 2018 when these two teams played last time. Connor Hellebuck is the story of this series as it begins tomorrow.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to leave you with one last question. Take as long as you want. Well, we got about 3 minutes for it.
Sure. Yeah.
Hella's going to be, the Jets are going to be favored in any series because of goaltending. And unless they, Stanley Cup final against Tampa, maybe it would go to the other guy. But I'll tell you what, it's fitting that you guys are called the Jets because Rick Bowness, he just was like a pilot that got through some significant turbulence near the end of the season and pulled it out. And here we are.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
Yes.
How did he do that?
It looked like for a while, like I haven't seen him look as frustrated as he was after, I went back to that game when they lose 3-0 to San Jose. But here's the thing. Like, they were playing great hockey. They were generating lots of opportunities. And he said if they weren't getting scoring chances, Rod, then he'd be worried. So, you get robbed by James Reimer not once but twice, like just goalied. Like, I think James Reimer's stats against every other team in the National Hockey League this season was a save percentage of 900 and a 3.49 goals against average. It was 1.00 against the Jets and 9.75 save percentage before the last time they played San Jose on home ice. So those things happen. So the simple thing I mentioned a little bit earlier is putting Mark Scheifele to the wing, and just now you've got Mark Scheifele, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Kyle Connor, your 3 most talented forwards all on the same line. You take some of the defensive responsibilities away from Mark Scheifele in the defensive end of the ice, and then you have your 3 best players together, and then like Kyle Connor's just beside himself playing with these 2 guys because of the offense they can generate, the dangerous chances they can produce. So I think that was a big catalyst right there for turning things around. And then you started getting healthy. And, the additions of Vladislav Namestnikov, who has a tremendous amount of playoff experience, he just settles down. He's just a smart hockey player. And Nikolai Ehlers enjoys playing with him because he knows what he's going to get from him. And Blake Wheeler, of course, the driving force on the right side. And then you have that third line. And you heard Pete talk about Adam Lowry, just like exactly what you're going to get. And when we asked Nino Niederreiter what he loved about playing with Adam Lowry and Mason Appleton is because exactly what Pete said. You know what you're going to get from them. You know where they're going to be. You know what the effort you're going to get every night. And just to have 3 players grinding the way that they do together in the offensive end of the ice has been instrumental for this team. And Rick Bowness called the third line one of the best third lines in the National Hockey League. So it took Rick some time. He said he had to figure out what buttons to push and how to push them, what players respond to individual meetings, what players respond to being called out in front of their teammates, and et cetera, et cetera. He's pushing all the right buttons now. Took him a while, about 75 games or so. he seems to be in a good place with the entire team, and there's a lot of momentum with this group. They're highly confident heading to the series against Vegas.
I feel like this is the series Canada's most engaged in. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
JT, I know how busy you are. Thanks for the time. You rock, brother. Good luck.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you having me on your show.
The great Jamie Thomas, CJOB 68, Manitoba's information superstation. Do they still say that? That's what I remember them as. Fantastic radio station there. Go get it. With him and utility voice, Paul Edmonds tomorrow night, Game 1 in the Fortress. We'll be back with overtime after this timeout. We'll do a sports update and see what else is going on here at the lovely Ace Casino Airport in a moment. We're live on the Game Plus television network, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE, the Fringe Radio Network.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
The SJHL raffle is underway with your chance to win a brand new Polaris side-by-side, courtesy the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. Tickets are available now until April 23rd, with the draw taking place live on SJHL Insiders April 27th. 1 for $25, 3 for $60, or 10 for $100. But there are only 5,000 tickets available. Get yours today at sjhlraffle.ca.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It's Overtime, live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Clique, Calgary Airport. Overtime is for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC and the National Hockey League. And I appreciate our Winnipeg audience chiming in and saying, yes, they still say that. LOL. Manitoba's Information Superstation, CJOB 68. Craig Smith, our director of scouting, is watching. He grew up in Winnipeg. He writes in, he says, I've listened to CJOB for decades. My mom would have it on when I was getting ready for school. That's the way that it used to be. Hopefully now they've got the television on during the day. Right, Kevin Hughes? We have a special guest here for Overtime, Kevin Hughes. I think, yeah, they got there you go. Our sales, sales coordinator? That's what it is, right?
Coordinator.
He's a little bit like me. He likes to be a bit of a fly in the ointment. He knew that we had Peter Loubardias coming down here today, so he had to put on a Canucks jacket.
It's a Canuck, not even a hoodie. You can't even call it a bunny hug. It's just a shirt.
Kevin is originally from Vancouver.
Oh, very good. Very good. He put the G in Vancouver for all our listeners in Vancouver. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, this gentleman was raised East Van. You walked to Pacific Coliseum and Empire Stadium back in the day?
We were about a mile away from there, blocks away, miles.
So there you go for our BC and Vancouver viewers, Lower Mainland viewers on TELUS Channel 924, which they carry Game Plus. I just want to send a bouquet to you in that you really did the heavy lifting and our staff behind the scenes, not me, to come to Ace. So I just wanted to bring you on and say thank you.
We did it quickly, and it turned out really well. Bit of a glitch
to
start the show, but with the Mary, the IT lady here at Ace,
she is
Brad,
a gem. Yeah.
All three of us kind of put our heads together, and it was fixed in a matter of minutes, and away we went.
Yes. Ace Casino Airport is our home, and I've got a sheet of things to talk about it over the next few weeks here at Ace. One thing that I do want to mention, there were, the owners were here. It was a big day, and with Peter Loubardias coming down, they were very excited.
They were very, very excited.
And let's be honest, people understand. The Raptors are out, so I'm not really into the NBA playoffs. The Flames are out, so people are more ensconced in what's going on with the local NHL team. Of course, they're going to be watching the Stanley Cup playoffs. But this firing of the general manager today, which, be honest, that's pretty much what it was.
Yes.
Daryl Sutter's going to remain as coach, which, who predicted that? Me. On QR Calgary Friday night with Jock Wilson. I should text Jock and say, remember? Although Jock kind of knew, too. It's pretty earth-shaking news. It's going to be interesting days ahead here in Calgary.
It's going to be interesting to see the fallout from that. Obviously, there's always a trickle-down effect when anybody gets laid off or let go. So it'll be interesting to see what the trickle-down effect of that movement is, especially going in now with the Flames in their off-season, and to see what happens over the next months, plural.
Yeah. Well, while you're here and you're wearing the Canucks jacket, we should talk about your Vancouver Canucks.
Vancouver Canucks, who have, I might add, a 3.5% chance of landing Bedard.
It's dropping.
It's 3.5%.
It was 6. We looked it up last week.
It was 6. They kept winning. They don't know how to tank. But it's 3.5%. I told you months ago, I had a dream. I woke up one morning and the voice in my head was Bettman saying the first pick goes to. And then it was Rod's voice saying the Vancouver Canucks.
How about that?
Stop.
I still say it. They're going to get Bedard. I just have that feeling. I know it's only a 3.5% chance. But there's still a chance.
It's funny. I'm going to tell you something. This isn't going to get me in trouble. Other than to say, probably, I love all the guys that come through our show. But the guy that I love the most is Tim Hunter, which is a guy that I didn't think I would love at all. He's a tough guy, goon. They're not supposed to be nice guys.
No.
So he came down, and I'm trying to think of all the funny things he said. But he's just he's like you, Mr. Sunshine, Mr. Universe, Mr. Kumbaya. And I said, how do you think about Bedard? He can't play for the Canucks, can he? He's like, why not? I'm from Calgary. I played for the Flames for 11 years. You know the town, you know the media, you know the roads to the rink. and he totally sold me, Tim Hunter, on why this might be the best place for him to go.
I mean, who would think great that? Story. The kid grew up in North Vancouver.
It would be a great story, yeah.
It would be an amazing story to have him join. Think of the lineups.
And, okay, this is why I was laughing. Jim Vancha, a guy that I know, well, I just met him, but he was here doing business, and he came out from Unity Sask? Bigger Sask, I believe. Delisle Sask, sorry. And he was sitting there watching the show at the Grey Eagle where we were last, and he goes, I didn't even know who was going to go on, who was on with you. Before I showed up, it was Tim Hunter. So, of course, you have to understand Calgary is like any other market where the sports team is very important. So Jim says, so what's up with the Flames? Is there problems there with the Flames? And Tim's like, no problems internally with the Flames. I'm like,
yeah.
But that's a good alumni and a good ambassador.
And there's no problems with the Canucks. That was my poker face.
You're good.
That was my poker
Should
face.
I be concerned that every staff member knows you in here from the poker room?
You're not supposed to mention that on air.
It's all good. Hey, they like you. So that's a good thing. Yeah. Norm Fong, the Hall of Fame equipment manager of the Saskatchewan Roughriders watching. He says, I love the hockey stories, Rod, signed Fongo. So do I. Jamie Thomas, who was just on, writes into the 902 text line.
Nice.
Winnipeg Jets broadcaster. He goes, Pete Loubardias, good people. Yes. And that's why he came down to help us out. I mean, I mentioned the owners were here. They were very impressed that Peter Loubardias was here.
You know what? I've listened to Peter since forever on the radio on 960. To actually talk to him in person, and we had a good chat just before he left. Impressive. Very impressed with his views on life.
One of those rare guys who sounds exactly the same on the radio as he does in real life.
He does not. He doesn't put on the radio voice. And I look at the camera because Jake always puts on his radio voice when we do our podcasts. And I'm like, how do you do that?
The Hughes Sports Podcast.
I had to throw that in there.
Kevin and his son. Hey, I appreciate it. All podcast
But
platforms.
he sounds exactly the same when you're talking to him off camera as he does on camera.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin, for all you do. Poll question today to sign it off for Key Auto Group. What's the game you're looking most forward to tonight? Which game wins? Kings Oilers leading with 65% of the vote. Panthers Bruins 20% of the vote. Islanders Hurricanes 9% and Wild Stars 6%. Back tomorrow here at Ace Airport Casino to talk about them all with Colin Pedersen, Stanley Cup champ with the Flames on Game Plus and here on the Key.
Who has more fun than us?